7 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary, we'll observe a moment of silence. Okay, seeing it's 7 o'clock, we'll be going into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, subsection A1, to discuss the physical condition or mental health rather than the professional competence of a police department employee. Entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
And
Second.
3. And 3.
And
Oh, you've got to read all three.
all right, read all three. We'll be having multiple executive sessions tonight, so I'm going to read them all now. Second one will be executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. And 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. There'll be the facilities manager and the OPIU.
I'll make that motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Kane?
Yes.
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 And I will vote yes. We are in executive session. Okay, we are back in open session. I'd like to announce this meeting is being recorded and televised by local cable. I'll seek a motion to approve bill and payroll warrants.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Seek a motion to accept correspondence in the read file.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Approval of meeting minutes, open session September 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. COVID update, Mrs. Chief Clancy is back.
Good evening, thank you. Per the email, I sent you just a quick recap. This past week, we had 28 positive cases out of 402 tests performed for a 6.9% positivity rating, which has actually slightly declined. We've been in the mid-30s. We've been on a slow decline. 3-4 weeks ago, we were in the 40s, and we've slowly declined down to the 28. We had brought to you before about wastewater monitoring. It had been brought up to us about wastewater monitoring. We had looked into it. At first, it did not seem feasible due to the cost. Through the diligent work of the Board of Health, we were able to get accepted into a program for free. They were looking for a community our size. We happened to fit the bill. So currently, that company is working with the DPW Sewer Commissioner, Dennis Smith, to provide the test kits and the equipment we'll need to do the sampling, and we'll be sending that off coming up shortly. More to follow once we start sending it off. I'll include it in the weekly COVID report. Just the one last thing, we have upcoming booster clinics coming up. They've been posted on the website. We'll get them on the town website coming up. Just quickly, they come one this Thursday. It's open. This will be posted downstairs tomorrow for Frank's approval. It's just a list coming up with the link and a UPC, the code that you can scan with your phone to sign up. We'll put that in a readily available spot. There's plenty of spaces open for that, and we'll make sure there's accessible. We'll get it up on the website for the rest of them. And if anybody has any problems, feel free to reach out to COVID coordinator. The number's on here, and she will help you. Any questions?
And that's the Moderna
That's the Moderna bivalent.
bivalent, okay.
So it's more focused towards Omicron. And we start Thursday here. Please come.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Nothing in the chairman's report. Under new business, act on the request of Christine Morse for permission to use the Town Hall Auditorium on Saturday, January 21st, 2023, for the purpose of holding a beauty pageant to benefit the Miss Whitman Scholarship Organization.
So moved.
Second.
I believe this is her second
Yes.
event here.
Maybe the third.
Could be. I might have missed
We had it
one.
once before COVID. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next item on the agenda, act to accept the wine and malt package goods store liquor license surrendered to the office of the Board of Selectmen on September 20th, 2022 by C&B Realtors Incorporated, doing business as Whitman News, located at 410 Bedford Street, as the business is no longer in operation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Act to appoint Frank Lynham to the Mayflower Municipal Health Group Steering Committee.
So moved.
Second.
I trust it'll be short-lived.
Frank held that position for
1,000 years.
Ever since we created it.
Right,
a
I
long
was just
time,
thinking of
and,
that.
definitely meets the qualifications. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Next item, act to rescind the appointment of Spencer Shute from the positions of alternative member of the Conservation Committee effective immediately.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Act to rescind the appointment of Lincoln Heineman from the position of Affirmative Action Representative, Assistant Parking Clerk, Auction Permit Agent, Bylaw Study Committee, and Fair Housing Officer, Fair Housing Committee, effective August 15th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Act on the request of Chief Hanlon to appoint John Rice to the position of Crossing Guard Special Constable through June 30th, 2023.
So moved. Good.
Second.
Any discussion? Chief, do you have anything to add? Just the appointment? No? Okay.
Just an additional crossing guard.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Call for do you want to discuss this, Frank? A special town meeting sometime in November?
Sure. As you know, we have appointed effective October 1st, our town accountant to the position of acting treasurer collector. In order to make a permanent appointment, we would need to change the status of the position from that of elected to that of appointed. I am recommending that the town schedule a town meeting on the 14th, which is a Monday, which seems to be the most popular choice for a meeting night, to address that and other financial issues that may need to be addressed. We have a number of budgets that need to be adjusted, and I think it would be more appropriate to do that early as a special rather than run out to the approach of the annual in order to make those changes. I think it's a clear disclosure to the folks at both the appropriations, and it takes off some of the concern that departments may have about possibly running out of money before that event occurs. I don't expect it to be a really big event. I'm hoping it will be very minimal, but that'll be determined by you when you open and close the warrant, if you vote to schedule this meeting.
So this would just be to open the, set the date, and we'll handle the
Correct,
warrant the
and to
next meeting.
call for the meeting,
Call.
and then we'll prepare a warrant and present it to the board in sufficient time to actually publish it and get the word out.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to call for a special town meeting on November 14th.
I'll move that.
I will second that.
Discussion.
I guess my only question, this would be a special, so it would fall under the new quorum that we changed
Correct.
last year as 100
100
residents.
voters.
Let's hope we can bring them out.
Did you want to add the 15th, or we'll just keep it to the Monday night?
I think leave it to the Monday night. We can always adjourn to Tuesday if it's necessary.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor to call for a special town meeting on November 14th, 2022?
I have a quick question.
Oh, good.
Is it essential that we have the meeting for the situation with Ken? Like
It
Ken-
either has to be done now or has to be done in May. If we do it in May, you will already have placed a question on the ballot before the town meeting has voted to take that action. Because of the timing required, we need 35 days to put a question on the ballot, and there's only 2 weeks separating town meeting and election. I think it's cleaner.
So the answer is yes.
It's not essential, but it's a good idea in my mind. Do you have concerns about scheduling a meeting, Sean?
Just, I don't want to just call a town meeting. I mean, I have some concerns about the budget, but I feel pretty confident about some of the work that we're doing. And I
Right.
think the public, once we update the public, I think that those kind of budgetary concerns will be alleviated. So if we could hold off to the annual, I think that'd be better. But if it's a better idea to do it for the special, then we should.
All right, and we will be discussing the actual warrant further in the next meeting.
Of course.
So that'll probably give a little bit more time, and maybe you can just provide, be able to speak on it a little more at that time. But so we'll just call for the meeting right now as of November 14th, special town meeting. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting isn't scheduled until you sign a warrant.
Right, but it's held, the date is held.
So there's time to consider, but again, I just think it'd be a good idea.
All right, set October meeting schedule. I would recommend, in a previous call yesterday with School Committee Chairman Chris Howard, he requested to come to our meeting sometime on the 11th. He's also going to go to Hanson that night to discuss the makeup of the Regional Agreement Committee and what they see through that. So he's going to update us on that, and I believe he's going to want us to appoint somebody that night. So I would recommend the 11th if possible, and discussion on other dates.
I have no issue with the 11th, that's fine.
The 11th is good.
All right, how about the 11th and 25th then?
I have no problem with the 25th either.
Everyone good with that? Okay, so the 11th and the 25th. Okay, that exhausts new business. Old business, update on the town administrator search. Mr. Lynham.
Thank you. As you know, we formed a committee we
Save the top line.
met for the first time as a committee last week. And one of the observation that was made by one member, I think it's important to note this, is that we're going to be going out seeking to hire someone with a combined budget for the position of $150,000. It's 143 plus vacation buyback time that was included in the actual budget. I am waiting for survey results, but I believe 150,000 is an absolute minimum that would enable us to recruit for this position. I know that sounds crazy given what the numbers were over the years, but town managers and administrators are now being hired, and several towns broke the 200 mark this year. And they're not heavily experienced people. So we have a tough market. I would like to request permission to prepare an ad and advertise the range of 150. That is what we've appropriated right now. We may have to revisit it. I don't know. I'm still waiting for numbers, but it's going to be difficult to fill the position.
You said a range of 150? Did you mean a ceiling of 150?
Well, I mean, I would.
It's a range, usually
I would
ranges go
put-
from 1
I
to
know, but I don't have an upper range. So what I would do is approximately 150 I would put in an ad to at least indicate there's a little flexibility there, but or maybe put 140 to 150 and see what that buys us.
That's what
We
I
haven't
That's what I would.
vetted the ad yet, but we're waiting for the
Yeah,
committee
the sooner we
to
can
do
get the
that.
ad in.
Well, I can't do anything until we do this.
So maybe language up to 150, depending on qualifications.
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds,
All right, you don't need a vote on that, right, Frank?
Nope.
All right. Town administrators report.
Okay, I have a couple of things. We recently approved a use of the town hall for a Battle of the Bands. A cultural committee had requested it. We scheduled it, and we actually had the auditorium set up for it, only to find out from Facebook that the event had been canceled. I think it bodes well for us to ask for more communication when people request use of the town hall, because it involves other people and other efforts. We received a final disposition from the county approximately 3 weeks ago for COVID expenditures, and they declined $160,000. They declined to fund $160,000. That doesn't mean we're out of money. It means we then have to go to the ARPA fund to seek funding for those. But I did challenge some of the decisions, and this past week we were given a check for $42,559. So apparently they found the receipts that they weren't going to support.
So that being said, Frank, we still got like 120 grand.
That we're going to have to deal with through ARPA. Traditionally, we talk about when people move into different positions. There has been a vacancy announced for the assessor's office. Joanne Wang, who's been here quite a few years, is leaving on October 31st. The current administrative assistant in the Inspectional Services Office is posted for and will be taking that position. That will create a vacancy in the building department, which I believe may be of interest to an employee in the treasurer's office. So the cycle starts, and now I'm going to have to go out and advertise. Just wanted you to be aware of that. We were notified by Maya a few weeks ago that we've been accepted to their unemployment management program. We use UTMC. We use UTMC, and we pay semi-annual fees. Maya will be picking up the cost for us in taking over that management. They are our top employer, and they want to expand that. Interesting thing occurred over the last couple of days with respect to the middle school project. We were notified by MSBA that we had to lease all property associated with the middle field to the exclusive use and control of the school committee in order to get funding. Now, anyone who's been around here a little while knows that's going to cause a real uproar when it comes to use of fields. So Randy and I have been working on this, and we met a couple of times with the assessor and requested more information. We've identified a parcel that would allow us to give middle school, the school committee, full control without yielding the fields. And we proposed that today at the school building committee meeting. So I think we're heading in the right direction with that. But it brought up another interesting issue. We cannot find how we acquired the field that the sports fields are on at the middle school. Just can't find it. So that's troubling, because it would be nice to have a deed. So we're asking the assessor's office, and now probably go to council at some point, to assist us in identifying our right to ownership of that field. I mention it only because it came up in the meeting today, and I wouldn't want anyone to be surprised. I'm not concerned that we have the rights to the field. I just can't show you a deed, and we should be able to. So we're working on that.
And Frank, if you can just add in that Rep. Sullivan also,
Thank you.
Frank and I reached out to Representative Sullivan, and she was more than willing to see what she can do to try and help us along if the parcel issue, something shouldn't happen there. So we have support. We've been working on it, and we're trying to find the best compromise we can make that suits MSBA and also keeps control of the land. So.
And I suppose this happens in all towns at one time or another because we don't have an owner who's getting a tax bill who would question it. So we'll figure it out.
On that note, Registry of Deeds, contact them. They may, if
Well, you have to know what you're looking for to go to the registry
well,
of deeds.
if you had a map and showing the parcel of land,
We have a map, but it's our map.
that's what?
It's our map. So we got to
Show
show
it.
it.
Yeah, well, and to piggyback on what Frank was saying, Kathy Keefe has done a heck of a lot of work, our assessor, on this, and it's multiple books and multiple years, and she's really digging into it, so,
We will resolve the question.
yes.
And the town is not subject to adverse taking, so we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And finally,
Just allow me to real quick, one of the things that was done, first of all, John Galvin, High Street, Whitman, there was a title search done by when the architects first came on, and they did a title search. I know it's in one of the folders that I have. It did say that the titles were clear on the entitled parcel, so we should feel comfortable that we're in good shape, even if we can't find the deeds. But I will, tomorrow morning, look through my folders and see if I can find that. It was a long report. It included a lot of stuff, but pretty sure that was all included in it. It cleared, it said everything was the property of the town, so.
yeah, unfortunately, John, it's only the parcels that we gave them the deeds to.
Well, I will look into see what I see what you're saying. I don't know that that's the case, but I went through that document pretty thoroughly, and I will see if I can find those sections and see if it clears up anything anyway.
Okay.
What I will say is new to me, when Kathy came up and showed us everything, they're actually listing the softball fields as an individual parcel, where I think that one had the back that we were talking about this evening and that all in one. And she's saying it's two. And that's part of the problem, is by her records, it's its own separate parcel with the baseball, softball complex.
What brought it to light was the acreage. The parcel is alleged to have
28.
29 acres, and the parcel that the school is on is actually 9 acres, and the adjacent parcel is 9.5 acres. And there's a very small parcel that the old tennis courts are on that's, I believe, 9,000 square feet. And then there's this no man's land in the middle there. But we'll figure it out. It's clearly, it's an indexing issue, I'm sure.
All right. That it, Frank?
One other item. We have vacancies that I'm hoping people will step up to fill because they're becoming critical. We have 2 vacancies on the Capital Committee. We have a non-voting vacancy on the Board of Appeals. And we have 2 vacancies on the 5-member Conservation Committee. We would have 3, except we're not letting Elaine retire until we find a replacement. So if there's anyone who happens to catch this meeting who has any interest in working with town government, here's where you need it. And I am going to start a targeted outreach for those committees. And that finishes my.
All right. Next item was public forum. Anyone else? Seeing none? Okay, we'll close public forum. And that has exhausted our agenda, so I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You adjourn. Thank you.